Hey everybody, this is Justin here. I wanted to start a new series where I talk about abandoned places. Now, I developed an interest for abandoned places probably about 2 years ago when I saw Dark Five's Dark Facts About Disney, and they mentioned River Country. And first of all, I didn't even know that River Country was a place, and I'd been to Disney twice when River Country was open. But anyway. So that sparked my interest in talking about abandoned places, and then from there I saw guys like Adam the Woo and Exploring with Josh, and now Bright Sun Filming, and I thought that was really cool. So I thought, hey, I could talk about abandoned places, give my own opinion on it. So here I am. So as I mentioned, I thought it'd make sense to kick off with the abandoned place that actually inspired me to look at abandoned places. Disney's River Country. River Country was Disney's first ever water park. It was positioned on Bay Lake and was, as I mentioned, was their very first water park. It opened up in June of 1976. It held at max about 5,000 people, and it used filtered water from Bay Lake, and then it also had 2 chlorinated pools. So basically Disney wanted to open up a water park, but I guess they were, no pun intended, testing the waters to see if a water park would do well. And sure enough, River Country did very well. In fact, a lot of times it would hit max capacity in almost no time flat. And in fact, there's stories about employees and even Disney executives trying to come in on their days off and being told they couldn't come into the park because that hit max capacity. So because it did so well, Disney decided to open up another water park, Typhoon Lagoon, in 1989, which was a much bigger water park with a lot more rides and attractions, and it's actually the second most visited water park in the world. And then, because that did well, Blizzard Beach was opened up, and that was Disney's third water park, and that opened up in 1995, which was, as the name suggests, that was Blizzard themed, and as I said, also the third most visited water park in the world. But yet, River Country still survived all of this. So, of course, there's the popular theory about why River Country closed, and that was about the incident in 1980 where a boy died from a brain-eating amoeba that was found in the lake. I'm going to try to pronounce this name, Naegleria fowleri. It is, as I said, is a brain-eating amoeba, which has about a 95% more fatality rate. I used to actually think this was why the park was closed. However, after giving it more thought, I don't think that was the case, because if that was the case, they would have closed it in 1980 when the incident happened. I think the park closed for a couple of reasons. I think, one, you had 2 much bigger water parks, and another thing that happened was the September 11th attacks. And I mean, I definitely remember the September 11th attacks. Like, everybody was too afraid to travel, especially on planes. So because of this, Disney parks got hit pretty hard. Like, they didn't do as much business. And River Country, I guess, took enough hits as a result of that they didn't see it worth keeping open. So it basically finished up for the summer in November of 2001. Then in 2002, they said River Country would stay closed, and they are not sure if it would reopen. And then 3 years later, in 2005, they said that River Country was definitely closed for good. Now, do I think they will reopen the park? Absolutely not. I mean, if it hasn't had anyone go into the park and use it for 15 years, I seriously doubt that, there's any point in opening it again. And besides, it has become an overgrown swamp now, that the amount of money it would cost to get it up and running again would just be astronomical, and even for Disney, they probably would never see that again. So, yeah, actually, there's another reason I forgot why I think the park closed. So, back in 1976, when this park opened, the laws were a lot different with pools and water parks. But what I heard was that in Florida, that you could not have pools using. They passed a law later where you had to have, if you had a pool, it had to be like chlorinated water. You could not use filtered lake water. And so, with that being said, even if they were to close down the lake part of the park, that means they only have 2 pools and a couple water slides that can be opened, so it's not even worth keeping open. But like I said, I didn't even know this park was even there until I saw Dark Five's video. So I don't know. As I said, I think it's very odd that they didn't demolish the park, and even more odd the fact that if you actually are brave enough to sneak into the park now, that apparently the electricity and the plumbing is still hooked up, and you can even hear music when you go in there. So that has been my very first abandoned video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to give me feedback and tell me how I did. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing more of these. Be sure to leave a rating, a comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Take care, guys.